A $10,000 side hustle screenshot can hide a worse life than a $900 side hustle. That is the part nobody puts in the caption. Bankrate found that about 36% of US adults had a side hustle in 2024, but the median monthly income was around $250, then about $200 in 2025. So the real story is not the viral month. The real story is the gap between the number people show and the cost they stop measuring. Because side hustle income does not rise in a clean line, it mutates. At first, it changes what you notice. Then, it changes your calendar. Then, it forces you to build systems. Then, it starts attaching itself to your identity. Then, other people begin having opinions about your choices. And eventually, if the number gets large enough, it becomes hard to tell where the side hustle ends and the rest of your life begins. Two people can both make $5,000 per month and live completely different realities. One has clean margins, clear hours, and low friction. The other has refunds, customer pressure, tax anxiety, delayed payments, and a calendar that looks profitable only because exhaustion is not listed as an expense. So this is not a ranking of who makes more. This is every level of side hustle income measured by what the dashboard leaves out. Level 1, $0 to $200 per month, the cost of awareness. At the first level, the side hustle barely looks like income. It may be one paid task, one small sale, one tutoring session, one digital download, one weekend job, or one person paying you for something you used to do for free. The range is $0 to $200 per month, which sounds almost too small to analyze, but that is why this level is dangerous to underestimate. Bankrate reported that median side hustle income was about $200 per month in 2025, down from about $250 per month in 2024. So this level is not a failure case. It is close to the normal entry point. The hidden cost here is awareness. Before this level, free time can still feel like free time. After the first payment, your brain starts scanning. A skill becomes a possible offer. A weekend becomes possible inventory.
A conversation becomes a possible lead. A hobby becomes something with a price tag attached to it.
This is the first rewrite. You are not earning enough to change your budget, but you are earning enough to change your attention. That matters because attention is the first asset a side hustle consumes before it consumes time. The dashboard may show $87, $140, or $200. What it does not show is that your mind has started looking for money in places that used to be neutral. That awareness can be useful. It can make you sharper. It can show you that income is not limited to one employer, but it also begins the first trade. The ability to fully turn off gets weaker. Once awareness is switched on, the next level does not stay in your head. It moves into your wake. Level 2, $200 to $1,000 per month. The cost of calendar. Between $200 and $1,000 per month, the side hustle becomes scheduled. It is no longer a random payment that appears once and disappears. It has a rhythm. There may be 2 clients, 3 weekly sessions, a batch of orders, a recurring edit, a route, a deadline, or a marketplace routine. The income starts to feel reliable enough to count, but not large enough to relax around. This is where the hidden cost becomes calendar. Flexibility sounds like control, but at this level, flexibility often means the work can enter almost any open slot. The task goes after your main job, the revision goes into Sunday afternoon. The buyer message changes when you run errands. The lesson, order, edit, delivery, or appointment, has a place on the calendar before your own recovery does. Pew Research found that 16% of Americans had earned money through an online gig platform, and about 9% had done so in the prior 12 months when surveyed. That matters because platform and gig income often arrives with the promise of flexible work, but the lived experience is more complicated. At this level, you learn a specific truth. Flexible income still needs fixed attention. The work may not have a boss in the traditional sense, but it has customers, deadlines, expectations, and response times. The dashboard says $600. The calendar says those dollars now occupy the spaces that used to absorb the rest of your life. The next jump begins when the calendar is no longer the hardest part. The side hustle starts needing rules, records, and maintenance. Level 3, $1,000 to $3,000 per month, the cost of systems. At $1,000 to $3,000 per month, the side hustle becomes financially meaningful. This is the range where it can cover a car payment, reduce credit card pressure, build a cash buffer, help with groceries, or make one major bill feel less threatening. It is also the range where calling it extra money can become misleading. The hidden cost is systems. You are no longer only doing the paid activity. You are maintaining the parts around it. Messages need answers. Refunds need decisions. Invoices need tracking. Files need naming. Inventory may need counting. Customer expectations need boundaries. Taxes need a folder. Pricing needs logic. If a platform changes rules or fees, your margin changes even when your effort does not. IRS guidance says that if net earnings from self-employment are $400 or more, a taxpayer generally has to file an income tax return. And Schedule SE is used to figure self-employment tax on net earnings. This is the point where side income becomes visible in a way that the beginner version of the hustle rarely imagines. Fees also stop being background noise. Etsy lists a 20-cent listing fee and a 6.5% transaction fee on the listing price plus shipping and gift wrapping. A small fee can feel harmless on one sale, but volume turns small percentages into a monthly expense line. The psychological shift is simple. The first sale proves demand, but repeated sales require administration. At this level, you are not just trying to make money. You are trying to prevent the money from creating disorder. That is why level 3 can feel strangely less exciting than level 2. The income is better, but the fun part is now surrounded by process. After systems appear, the side hustle begins to affect something more personal than operations. It starts changing how you describe yourself. Level 4, $3,000 to $5,000 per month, the cost of identity. At $3,000 to $5,000 per month, the side hustle becomes psychologically loud. It may not replace a full salary, but it is large enough to compete with the story you already had about your work. This is the level where the phrase, just a side hustle, starts to feel inaccurate. The income is too meaningful to dismiss, but often too unstable to trust completely. The hidden cost is identity. You used to introduce yourself by your main job, then mention the side hustle as an extra detail. Now there is a pause. The extra detail has weight. If you sell designs, teach online, coach clients, edit content, run a small shop, or consult after hours, people may begin connecting you with that work as much as your official role. That can feel good. Recognition is powerful. Revenue validates effort. But identity drift can create pressure. A bad month feels more personal. A refund feels more insulting. A slow launch feels like a judgment. When the side hustle becomes part of who you are, turning it down or simplifying it can feel like shrinking, even when it is a rational decision. This is where the anti-FOMO insight belongs. Level 4 can be a destination. A controlled $4,000 per month side hustle with clear hours, decent margin, low refund exposure, and limited stress may be better than a $9,000 per month version that damages your schedule, relationships, and decision making. More revenue is not automatically more freedom. Sometimes the intelligent move is to hold the level that fits your life. McKinsey has described independent work as a major part of the labor market, with 36% of employed respondents in its 2022 American Opportunity Survey identifying as independent workers. But independent work does not mean every person should scale every offer to the maximum size possible. The next level changes the audience around the side hustle. The income becomes large enough that other people start treating your choices as their concern. Level 5, $5,000 to $10,000 per month. The cost of permission. At $5,000 to $10,000 per month, the side hustle is no longer a private experiment. It can affect tax planning, household cash flow, work decisions, insurance, savings, debt payoff, and risk tolerance. The number is large enough to create opportunity, but also large enough to invite pressure. The hidden cost is permission, not formal permission, relational permission. A partner may want to know whether the money is stable before lifestyle decisions change. A family member may ask why you keep the main job if the side income is so strong. A boss may become uncomfortable if the side hustle becomes public. Customers may expect faster replies because the business now looks serious. Friends may either romanticize it or question it.
At this level, decisions need more explanation. Should you quit the main job, raise prices, hire help, buy inventory, spend on ads, turn down a vacation, keep a cash reserve instead of taking money out?
Every choice has a shadow conversation attached to it. Payment costs also matter more as volume rises. Shopify's pricing page lists card rates from 2.9% plus 30 cents USD online, and payment processing costs at high monthly volume can become large enough to affect real profit. The insight here is that permission cost often hides inside decision fatigue. You may still own the choice, but the number now touches other people's expectations. Once that happens, side income becomes social, not just financial. The final level begins when even permission is no longer the main issue. The bigger question becomes where the side hustle ends. Level 6, $10,000 plus per month, the cost of boundary. At $10,000 plus per month, the side hustle becomes screenshot friendly. This is the number people notice, share, question, admire, and misunderstand. It may represent a strong business. And they also represent high revenue with thin profit, unstable cash flow, heavy ad spend, refund risk, contractor problems, inventory pressure, or one platform carrying too much of the load. The hidden cost is boundary. At this level, the side hustle can affect how you plan the day, how you think about rest, how quickly you respond to people, how much cash you keep available, what risks feel normal, and how you measure whether a month was good. The work may still be called side because there is a main job on paper, but the weight of the operation can feel much larger than the label suggests. This is where the core insight becomes unavoidable. Revenue is not the real measurement of a side hustle. Hidden cost is the measurement that explains the life behind the revenue. Two people can both show $10,000 per month and live different realities. One may have a high margin offer, clear schedule, low support burden, and predictable demand. The other may have similar revenue with processing fees, refunds, delayed payouts, customer issues, tax reserves, and constant coordination eating the benefit. The dashboard makes those two people look similar. Their lives are not similar. That is why the highest level should not be treated as the automatic goal. It is the level where the cost of weak boundaries becomes harder to ignore. If the offer is clean, the margins are strong, and the workload is designed well, $10,000 per month can be a powerful asset. If the model is messy, the same number can become a trap with better branding. So the useful question is not whether $10,000 per month is impressive. The better question is what parts of your life had to become available for that number to exist. This week, open the last 30 days of your side hustle dashboard and write 4 numbers beside the revenue. First, write the actual profit after fees, refunds, tools, contractors, supplies, shipping, ads, and tax reserve. Second, write the real hours, including admin, messages, fixes, planning, and follow-up. Third, name the hidden cost you are currently absorbing. awareness, calendar, systems, identity, permission, or boundary. Fourth, choose the decision that fits the evidence. Grow, hold, simplify, pause, or stop. That last choice matters because side hustle income should not be judged only by how high it climbs. It should be judged by whether you chose the trade on purpose. A smaller level with clean costs can be stronger than a larger level you never meant to build. The goal is not to worship the highest number. The goal is to know which cost layer you are choosing before revenue makes the choice look obvious.